Thank you for joining us today. This one didn't have time to be advertised. It's a very last minute live we're doing. I would advise tissues at the ready. This is the darker side of rescue that many people don't see. We are joined today, or I am joined today, I'm Denise Moore, Chair of the Association of Interdogs and Co-Director of Interrescue. I'm joined by Mark Bridger Pescott, who is the Vice Chair of Interdogs, also Co-Director of Interrescue, Kate Roxburgh, who is the Chair of Interrescue and Main Director, and the lovely Deborah Hill. Debbie has been with us before. Debbie runs the German Shepherd Dog Welfare Fund. We spoke to her before, but recently she has come into custody, I suppose, of a young German Shepherd bitch who'd had a litter, and the story will break your heart. So please, we just want to highlight what rescues are going through right now, not only with the XL bullies, but with all breeds, all dogs, everything that's happening right now. It's not all, it's not all, it's not nice. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to shut up now and pass you over to Mark, Kate, and Deb because I want to actually start getting this shared around. So grab a tissue, guys. This is going to be rough.
Okay, Debbie. So over to you. If you want to let us know the story of these poor things, where they've come from, the journey so far, and kind of what you've been going through, and what it's costing to date so far, would be really good as well. But yeah, over to you. Far away.
Okay. Just a couple of weeks before Christmas, or a week before Christmas, with Adam sort of coming up 3 weeks, I think, a dog warden contacted me and asked if I could help a young female with her 7 pups. We'd already said we can't take any more because, you know, we're absolutely bursting at the seams. And then when you're talking to the dog warden and she's explaining the situation, the mum of the pups was just, I don't think she was quite 12 months yet. She was mated on her first season, an accidental mating. Her journey itself, apparently from a guardian, they'd bought her supposedly as a 9-week-old pup. And when they got her to the vets, they were told, she's only 6 weeks old. She was nervous. She'd been in a barn. Apparently, when they bought her, they'd just got her out of a barn. And from the day they got her home, she just wanted to hide under the tatanite, wherever, and didn't want to go near anyone. I believe they got a trainer in, and she just got worse. And then by the time she's on her first season, which was approximately 8 or 9 months, she got mated, an accidental mating, by the other resident male German Shepherd. By the time the puppies were 3 weeks, they were not, the people weren't coping. She didn't want nowhere near her pups. That's when the dog warden had called me. So I went round there, see these dear little things, underweight. Mum didn't want to feed them. I think mainly she was too immature. As well, she was very sore underneath. You know how puppies paddle when they feed? Their nails hadn't been clipped or anything, so they was just scratched a red raw underneath. So she wanted to avoid them. She didn't want to avoid that. She was okay with them, but she didn't want them to feed. So long story short, we got her. They were underweight. They were just tiny at that point. So we had no option but to take them to one of the kennels that we use, a trusted kennel. Usually with things like that, I'd bring them here, but I'm absolutely overrun at the moment here. So we took them to the kennel, and we trust these kennels implicitly. So we were, giving mum good feeds, feeding her up. We had to start more or less weaning pups straight away with puppy milk and mushy stuff because they needed more than what they were getting. And by this point, Mum still didn't want to feed. She'd pulled the fur off her back. She'd pulled all the fur out of her back. So we were treating that and treating it, well, the kennels were treating that, treating her underneath. And we thought we was getting there. You know, weighing puppies regular. They were putting on weight. They were nowhere near the size they should be, but they were putting on weight. Say we was doing loads of feeds, loads of bowls of milk and mushing food up and anything we could get them to eat to get the weight on them. And Mum, of course. So all was going pretty well until like Friday just gone. And I was driving and the kennels rang me and said one of the pups doesn't seem good. So obviously with puppies, I'm always a little bit paranoid. I said, okay, like, can you get us straight to a vet? So, which they did. They tested and they rang me up and said she's testing positive for parvo. So they sort of, that vet wasn't an overnight vet, so they obviously had to then find another vet that would keep her overnight. So which we done. She went there. Next morning at 6:30, kennels ring. One of the others isn't looking good. Said, right, get them to a vet. Got them to a vet. Yeah, tested positive. So that was the same vet as the first one. Then they're literally just getting back, and then like another one or two would go in. And so then the original vet rang up and said, look, we're not specialised. Can you get them to a specialist vet? So we then had to collect the first two and get them to Hitchin, which was hour and a half each way, in which time the others are now sick. So we're getting them back to the first vet, who then said, okay, well, look, we will keep these because the one at Hitchin said they were full with them ones. By that time, the others had got sick, so we had to find another vet for them. So they kept one and sent the other one home, like with medication, but said the other one wasn't so bad. So she was just on that. They did take their eyes off her after that. They kept her. I think it was so that'd be the Saturday. On the Sunday, I spoke to one of the vets and they went, oh yeah, we think it's okay. We're probably going to send him home tomorrow or send them home tomorrow. Actually, I think they said you can come and get them today. And I said, well, I'd rather err on the side of caution, keep them there, which was really good. We did, because by that night they said they're crashing. So, and basically the 3 different vets, but they were all following suit, if you like what one vet would tell you, then the next vet would ring and say the same thing, then the next vet would ring and say the same thing. And it was sort of up and down, but then at one point we got it that it looked that we was half getting there. In the meantime, Mum had seemed okay and had tested negative. By Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, she was a little bit, not very good poo and all that. So we got her tested again. She tested positive. So the vet sort of said, well, look, okay, she's not that bad. It is some medication. Keep eye on her. Yesterday morning, she'd gone a little bit flat. So we said, well, okay, we need to get her a vet. So now trying to find a vet for her. So I think I rang 6 vets. I rang my own vet, which is a different area to where she is, but they couldn't take her. They already had a parvo case in. I rang another local vet and they just said, we don't really want parvo. It was an absolute nightmare trying to find a vet to take her. So we did find a vet to take her. She walked to the van. She got in the van. It was a 40-minute journey. And by the time they got the other end, she was just really lifeless. She had to be carried in. Within 2 hours, the vet called to say how sick she was. The vet sort of seemed a bit knocked at the beginning because I don't think she'd got the full story. Like, how long have you left her sick like this? Because I explained we hadn't. As soon as she was, we'd got a veterinary treatment. She had just crashed so quickly. Apparently, white blood cells were non-existent. She said that there's nothing there to comment on white blood cells. She doesn't know they're in the room. When they shine the torch in her eyes, she just weren't responsive, which was a sign of brain damage, or her brain had been affected. They wanted to try one more thing, which they did, and within 20 minutes they rang and said, look, we've got to let her go, this is cruel. And we had to agree. I think it wasn't shortly after, I'm losing a bit of track of time, but I think then one of the pups went. And then I think another one went. And then we got a call. One of them was doing really, really well. And then by the end of the day, yesterday, they said she's crashed again. So they were just still, even after we were still just going up and down. 4 o'clock this morning, I got another call from the vet. One of the little boys had just, he was in kidney failure. And she wanted permission to let him go because she said, you know, in her opinion, this would be cruel to keep him going like that. And then every vet was told, do what you can. You know, they kept saying about the money. At that point, we were just saying, let's worry about the money after. We need to just help these pups. And then today, 2 of the another girl and another boy have gone. So out of the mum and 7 pups, we're left with 2 puppies at the moment. One still fighting for their life. The other one, thank God, they're saying is eating and is pooing normally, and they think she's turned the corner. The other one was quite poorly, but they said all the bloods had come back okay. There was nothing worrying in the bloods. It was just the actual pup themselves that they were worried about. So we're just playing the waiting game with that one. And that's all we can do. We're just waiting on phone calls, and then your heart going in your mouth every time the phone goes and you see it's the vet.
What an absolute nightmare for you. That must have been really hard for you to kind of go through and actually to come on here and talk about it as well, and hold it together.
The money, I think they gave us an estimate of £2,000 a pop. We've gone way over that. Well, not way over it, but I think we're up to the 20 at the moment. And that's without, I haven't got a clue what mum's bill is. You know, I haven't even talked about that with them. So we're up to about 20, and the other 2, one, if she survives, she will be in there a bit longer.
What can we do? What can people who are listening or see this over the next few days, what can we do to help?
It's when you're in rescue, especially little rescues like ours, we get no income from anywhere. It is purely donations, fundraising. That's how we exist. We've got between 115 and 120 dogs in our care at the moment. We use boarding kennels. Our kennel fees are already astronomical. And then we get something like this on top. Which seems we're always begging for money, but we really have no option. That's just how we survive. So it's constant fundraising, raffles. At the moment, we have got an auction going, and people have been amazing. They've been donating some wonderful items. They really some really super items on there, and the people bidding are going way above because they know what it's for. We have got a GoFundMe. That's doing amazingly well at them, and loads of people are sharing that all over the place, and that's doing really well. Unfortunately, still nowhere near what what the vet bill is going to be. But you know, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, someone actually said to me, was I wrong letting the pups go to the vets and be treated? Wasn't the money better spent on the dogs that are already in our care? I'm sorry, that ain't what rescue's about. You know, their little lives. They might have been weak at the beginning, but their little lives. They didn't ask for this. They didn't ask to be bred. They didn't ask to come here. So what do we do? Let them down again? They was let down in the first place. So what do we do? Let them down again? I think it's just a case of we do it and worry after.
Scarlett Lambert says, Debbie, you are incredible. Your loyalty and devotion to dogs is unbelievable. Praying for you and all the puppies. We will, of course, donate. Scarlett, thank you for that comment. We will put up the GoFundMe link under this video, and there is an auction going on, or a raffle going on as well. So
we've got a raffle. I'm going to be starting a raffle shortly. I've got the auction going.
There is an auction. Yeah, we'll get all those up for everybody to kind of join in, even if it's only the price of a cup of coffee. I know when people hear like it's going to be over 20,000 for vet bills, they think, God, my £5 donation is not going to do it. It's going to do a huge amount. If everybody puts in £5.
If everybody put £1, you know, like, you know, our group alone, for the amount of members we've got, if everyone put £1, we'd be getting there, you know. So it 50p, it helps. It really does.
And I know, like with vets often get a very hard time for their prices and all, but God, they're doing their best too. It's really tough for them.
I can't fault these. These have gone above and beyond. The ones
I mean,
really
they
have
need to
gone
make
above and beyond.
too. Yeah. So I mean, anything that anybody can give, that Debbie can give towards the vet bills is just incredible. It'll also buy you a bit of time to raise the rest of the money to get the vet sorted out, because nobody wants to be left in the lurch on this.
Yeah,
it's too important.
And the thing about small rescues is you've never got any cash in the bank. You know, it's always, you're always spinning your wheels every week, every month. It's not about, oh, well, we've got some savings from donations. It all goes. And, you know, the thing that got me was when reading about how you'd all chipped in, put it on your credit cards, everyone, you know, the kennel staff, you had to think quick. You had no access to money, and that's what you did. You had no idea if you were going to get that back or not, and that's admirable. You know, that's amazing.
You know, when you're there though, when these little lives are there, what do? You know, they're basically saying they want deposits, otherwise they don't treat them. And I don't, you know, you can't blame them for that, you know, because if everybody didn't pay, they're going to be going bankrupt, you know. But when you're there and you're thinking you just want these pups treated, you just want to get them seen to as soon as they possibly can, because every minute counts. To say, you know, the quicker they got treated, the more chance they had of survival. So it really was just getting credit cards out and doing it on our own personal credit cards, and that, even the kennels as well.
Right, Mark has just put up the GoFundMe, but the link is not working. Is there another link? It just says bad gateway 502.
It's just worked for me.
Okay, just give me a second. I just double check. Mark's got the magic touch. It seems to be, well, I've got the spinning wheel of doom. So let's see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've just gone on there to donate myself. So it's definitely working.
Brilliant. Okay, that's great. So that's up for anybody.
Thank you for that.
It's still spinning. Yeah, I will put in donation later, definitely.
Thank you. All I will say about the GoFundMe, I don't usually use that. I didn't realise the minimum donation on that is £5, which not everyone can afford. So what we've been doing on our group, we've got a PayPal account and we've put in the bank details up, which I can give you after, because if someone wants to donate 50p, it would really be appreciated, you know. So I think it's a little bit, you know, we can't expect everyone to be able to do the £5 for the GoFundMe. So we are giving the PayPal address and the bank account details.
And if somebody feels that they can't actually afford to donate anything, just have a think if there's anything you can do in your local area, like packing bags in a supermarket, a bake sale, little things like that. They go a really long way. It brings the community together as well and raises awareness, because this is not the only rescue that needs so much help right now.
Even just sharing the posts, you know, sharing it about on
Yeah.
your social media, it makes a big difference.
It really does. You know, if people can share it, because the thing about little rescues as well is that not everyone's heard of them.
Yeah.
So you don't get the support that you could get if people had heard of you, you know. So why are they going to bother with you if they don't know who you are? So the more it gets shared, they'll know we're there and know what we're about.
Exactly right. And the thing is, it's one of those stories as well. This one, it just tugs at every single heartstring people have got, because it's, I suppose it's not the normal, we're a rescue, we need some funds, because, you know, we're all struggling, of course.
Yeah.
To have a story like this, where this poor little girl comes in with puppies and then they all start dropping because they're all getting ill. It's just, you know, we've all been watching it and sitting there. I put a post on my page, and I know people have donated from there as well. But we're all sort of sitting here. I think collectively, in the background, we're all sitting here going, "Please, no more! Please, no more!" You know, let's have a couple and survive.
Yeah, you sit thinking, you know, how much more? You know, it really is. I think, you know, last night I'd got off the phone to the vet, and I can't have to come out to get a better signal, and it was freezing, and I just had to sit out there crying because I just didn't know what else to do. I just felt, and then you've got to get over it and then get on, because I've got dogs here that I'm caring for. You know, I'm the liaison for some of the kennels. I've got to make sure all the other dogs at kennels are okay. You've just got to carry on. You've got no option, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get you. You know, and if it doesn't get you, you shouldn't be in rescue. You know, you really should, because they're little lives. They're not just possessions. They are little lives that usually the ones in our care have already been let down. So we can't afford to let them down a second time.
I mean, as we know, I mean, anyone that works with dogs, I mean, I'm terrible for it. The second I meet a dog, it's my dog, you know, regardless of where that dog lives. So we're all sitting here, and it's breaking our hearts. And yet you guys and you and your wonderful team have actually been holding these puppies and watching them go. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you carry on, in all honesty. You're just angels.
There's many a time, well, there's been several times when I have actually said that that's it, I can't be in rescue anymore. I just cannot do it, and I'm not strong enough. And people say, oh, you must be really strong to do that. If you were strong, it wouldn't bother you, and you wouldn't be worried about the dogs. So that's not the case. And we pay the kennel fees, so we can use any kennels we want, really, because we're paying the money. But we're really particular what kennels we use, because we want a little bit more from them. And we're absolutely blessed with the kennels we use. We really, and I can't state that enough. I really can't state that enough. They go above it. Each kennel go above and beyond for our dogs. And I think each kennel, when something happens to a dog in their care, I've had grown men on the phone sobbing. I've sat there sobbing with grown men because they've felt it, you know, and same as I felt it. And you know, and the kennels, you know, that are has been looking after Dahlia and her pups, you know, they don't just see it as a job. No. They've been excited by these pups. They've been in there, they've loved them, they've cuddled them, you know, like they were going to have one of the pups. You know, like it's all been an exciting time. And then to have this, so the kennel staff, the owners and the staff, they're absolutely devastated. They're absolutely devastated by it all. Yeah, and you have to remind them, well, look how many of our dogs you've looked after, and look at them in their homes now. And
I,
that's
think,
because
I don't think people realize the knock-on effect of these little lives, and how many people the waterworks have already kicked in for me, so just ignore me. I this one thing that always gets me is that people don't see these little lives, that how they affect everybody. As you say, the kennel staff, all your staff, the vet staff, and it's not just one vet, it's numerous vets that are trying to help, numerous kennels that are trying to help. And then you're going to take that home to your family. Your family is going to be affected. You know, it's that knock-on effect. It's like a domino effect.
Oh, definitely.
It's how these little lives touch everybody, that a lot of people tend to turn a blind eye towards, or they try to ignore, because it's really, really hard to appreciate it. It's, I just, Scarlett just says to Debbie, I know it's not much, but my husband is a psychotherapist. He has said if you need some emotional support, he's happy to chat with you, free of charge, of course. Just a small something. Oh my God, Scarlett, you are actually an angel. You know, you're here supporting Debbie, and here you are offering something. So I'll leave that up for you to read yourself, Debbie. That's just absolutely lovely.
Debbie, if it helps, I know both Matt and Scarlett, and they're both wonderful, wonderful people, and I know they're very, very good at their respective jobs. So if you do need just to chat, just a bit of help to go through the emotional roller coaster you're going through, it's hard to find better people to talk to.
Thank you. And just people's kindness gets to you, you know. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm the same. If anything happens to me like that, I'm okay as long as people aren't nice to me.
Yeah.
You know, if they just treat me normally, the second they go nice, I hate it. It's horrible.
Don't hug me. I remember with Ava,
yeah.
you were like, don't hug me. I'm like, okay. I just like punched Mark in the arm, and that was it. We walked on.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. Don't be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Scarlett said they're both social workers. They're here to help you, Debbie, if you need it. And
That's amazing. Thank you, Scarlett.
Well really worth reaching out.
It really is appreciated, because it does build up, you know, and you got no option. You've got to keep on. You know, it's like what I just said. You know, yeah, the pups and the mum and that have took over. But I've got all the dogs here. You know, we've got all the dogs in the kennel. I've got to make sure that there's, you know, certain medications at kennels for them, that my lot here has seen to. You know, you've got to carry on, but that doesn't mean you're not dying inside. You know, you
also got to look after yourself as well, so that you can be there for the dogs, and that's important.
Can I just jump in and just say that although the focus is on the remainder of the puppies right now, as Debbie says, the other dogs also need, and you can sponsor a dog for £20 a year.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, help the other dogs too. It is a small rescue.
And we try,
but they all matter. Everything matters
we
here.
try and give back, you know, like, I mean, one of the kennels sort of put one of the dogs up for sponsor, and they've sort of said, you know, they'll even have, you know, if you live near enough, you can go and visit and do one-to-ones with the dog, you know, like, so you're getting something for your money. You know, we don't want to be money grabbing. We don't want to keep taking all the time. We try and give back, you know. That's why we do the raffles and the auctions, so that people are getting something in return, rather than just saying give us your money. But it's still,
is there a way that people can just set up a standing order for like a couple of quid a month or something like that?
Yeah, people can do £1 a month, £2 a month, whatever, you know.
Brilliant. If you could grab your at a certain point, grab your bank details, chuck them on the comment section. That'd be really great, and then we can all share the video about the place, because it's one of those videos, isn't it? It's just, rescue's hard enough as it is, But of course, when it involves the really young puppies that, you know, none of these dogs, any of them, have asked to be there, and through a series of events, and you know, we might all have our opinions on the people that put dogs in these situations. However, they end up in these situations, and there's people like you that are there to help them.
At
And
the end of the day, sort of judge, it is difficult, but judging ain't going to help, is it? You know, like
it isn't. It
we
isn't.
try and educate. I mean, that's the other thing we try and do is educate people, because I think that's the biggest thing we need at the moment, whether it be training, whatever, you know, the amount of dogs we have come in because of bad training. And I'm really anal about things like that now, because I'm seeing it, you know, and I probably get on people's nerves, but I'm seeing the other side of it when people say that doesn't hurt. It does, you know, when they're using choke chains or sprays and that, it does damage, and we're seeing it. So education and all this about, you know, it's a quick money making thing. It's not.
No.
It's not. And when you do it and you realize that it ain't, you know, it costs money to breed puppies and everything. So it's just getting it out there. It's just trying to spread the word on, but there's so many angles, because it's like, you know, the backstreet breeders, it's the training, there's so many angles to come at.
Yeah, and people forget, I mean, small rescues, they don't make money. They really don't make money. The big ones, yeah, you know, they've got the regular donations coming in, but the smaller ones, as you said earlier, a lot of them aren't heard of. People don't know about them, and it's expensive. You know, anyone that's got a pet, any pet you like, it's not cheap to go to the vet.
No.
Simple as that. No different to taking your car to the garage. It's going to cost you,
Costs
no matter
money.
what you do. So we need to be putting some money in. We need to just, yeah, if you've got a spare £5 a month, you could just set up a standing order, send it through.
Yeah.
That's going to do so much good over the course of a year.
Yeah. Well, even our normal dogs, you know, when people I think someone said once that we keep the lifers because we get donations for them. Okay, so in general, with one of our dogs, we work it out when we add the kennel fees and our vet fees, not this for God's sake, but just our normal monthly vet fees and kennel fees. It works out each dog cost us approximately £100 a week. So every dog that comes into our care, we keep for a minimum of 4 weeks. That's dreaming these days that they're going to go out in 4 weeks, you know, after when their 4 weeks is up, because, you know, we have youngsters staying in for months at a time. So that's a minimum of £400.
And sorry, do you find it very difficult at the moment? Because I'm seeing it in Ireland. Large dogs are on kind of the downslide. People are going for smaller dogs because it's cheaper. They're cheaper to feed. They're cheaper to look after, type of thing. Are you finding that with the large? Because, like, obviously shepherds are a large breed. They're an amazing breed, but at the same time, do you find people are kind of a bit hesitant because they could not be in, they might not have the right housing situation, they might not be able to afford, I mean, as you were saying, it's 100 a week. I have a notebook that everything I spend on my guys, I pop into the book so I can keep tabs on it, and I don't want to see the total at the end of each month. I have 2 dogs, 2 large breeds. I don't want to see that total at the end of the month. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to turn to the next page. It does cost a lot. It really does cost a bloody fortune, and people don't appreciate that. So, I mean, I know you have like 20 quid to sponsor a dog.
Oh, yeah.
That's nothing if it's costing you 100 a week.
And for that, you know,
every 20 helps go towards that.
So they again, we try and give something for that, you know.
And how do you manage for food and stuff like that? I mean, that's not cheap.
Well, the kennels, obviously, that comes in with our kennel fee that they feed. Some, if they're on special diets, we provide that, so that's on top. You know, if they've got allergies of some sort and they need something different, you know, although most of the dogs, it comes in with a the kennel fee, but there's some we do have to provide food for.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking of all the little things a lot of people don't think of. Like, say the dog comes in with skin condition and needs a particular shampoo or something.
Shampoos,
That's on
yeah,
you.
yeah.
They need certain food, as you just said, that's on you. You know, there's so many little things like flea, worm,
No, the
kind of
wormers,
medicated shampoos, things like that.
I ordered wormers for one of the kennels the other week, and it's like, it was 100 and odd quid. That's for one kennel.
And that seemed quite cheap, actually, in
Yeah,
fairness.
but at the top of my head, I'm thinking it could have been 200. You know, when you're doing so many things.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And I
what-
mean that would keep a couple of dogs going for a few months maybe. But
Yeah.
you have over 100 dogs. So when you start doing the maths on that,
Mm.
it's not
And
100
it's
here or there. It's
collars, you
Yeah.
know, so many of the dogs that come in, they've got like rubbish collars on. And again, I'm a bit anal about collars, you know, like I
and
just
do you
want
have
to,
to microchip the dog? Like over here, it's law.
they
Dogs
have
have
to
to
be
be microchipped.
microchipped.
So
Yeah,
again, that's another expense.
yeah.
How
But
much is it to microchip a dog in the UK?
depending where we go, we get it an average, I think between, depending where we go, but the last time I had one done, I think it was about £14.
Mm.
But that was a microchipper, not the vets at that time.
Okay, yeah.
Don't forget as well
That's
with that as well. I mean, when I picked up this hooligan down here, he wasn't microchipped, and we don't know whether he was inoculated. So just to get the first and second inoculations and the microchip done was 180 quid.
Mm.
So that if you had that with every dog that come in, that's your £20 a year for one dog in rescue is not going to touch the surface. So this is the bit. I think this is the bit as well where people don't realise.
People
Maybe
don't
they
realise.
can. Maybe they can share social media posts. Maybe they can do a bit of fundraising. Maybe they can pop to the local, Pets Corner, Pets Zone, whatever it's called, and say, look, any broken bags of food you don't need, can you send it up to whatever? It's things like that that really make a big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when it comes to like over here, we have dogs have to be licensed. We've always had a license for dogs. It's £20 a year or €20 a year or 140 for a lifetime. That, and then there's insurance, but that's on the person who adopts the dog. But you've taken, I mean, for us, like insurance, license, that's nothing compared to everything that's gone into the dog previously that you've had to fork out for. People need to be more aware of what goes on behind the scenes in the rescue. Not that you just take in these lovely puppies and then you put them up on the page and somebody comes and go, oh, look, I want a puppy. It's heartbreaking. There's so much else going on.
It's not as easy. I think it was only 5 days ago someone said to me, oh, you've got the dream job.
Oh.
I don't actually get paid for what I do with the welfare dogs. Mine's all voluntary.
I'd hate to see the rest of their dreams if that's a dream job.
I went to get my dog meat today and they went, oh, have you fallen over in the mud? I don't know, this is just normal,
Yeah, I always look like this.
Yeah, because I'm literally, I sort of, from when I put my coat on in the morning and come out, I'm basically in and out nearly all day until it's bedtime. I might some days I might have a chance when I can get in the house and do something, but if I've had a busy day where I've had to include something, then I get a guilt complex. So the next day they have even longer walks because I might have cut their walk short the day before. So literally from the time I get up in the morning and get washed and get dressed and pull my wellies and everything on, I'm in them till I get undressed to shower and go to bed. It's not the dream job.
Is
And
there
you're
anything
7 days a
else?
week, aren't you? Yeah.
Is there anything else that we could help share that you need, as far as if someone can't afford to donate, can they volunteer time, or is there anything that in that way that you need, whether it's a trainer or behaviorist, a force-free behaviorist, or you know,
Yeah, I mean,
volunteer
and
to walk
obviously
dogs
depending
or
on areas and that, because we've got, you know, certain kennels and that we use. You know, often people say, oh, can we come and sort of volunteer? And I would love that. I would love an afternoon off, but all the dogs I've got here are either court cases or bite cases, and so I've got to have someone that listens. And so I'm a little bit worried to do it. And then going back a little while, someone said, I really would love to do it, and I'm doing this at college, and I thought, come on, Deb, you know, it would be great if you could give an afternoon off a week, you know, a week. So I said, come and have a chat. And as I'm walking them through, I just say, just completely ignore the dogs. It was the first straight away. They're there looking at dogs. Hello, darling. If you can't do that, because I've got dogs that if you talk to them like that, they're going to bite you.
yeah.
They really are. You know, like it's
Yeah.
and it's about you know, most of them are fine with me, but with strangers, they're not good. And even with me, like, I've got one here that I cannot touch. Well, I say I cannot touch him. I haven't touched him because I don't think he wants it. He's a bite case. Could I push it? Possibly. But am I going to damage the trust I've built up with him? Possibly. So then what
Do you think
happens?
this is a big issue for an awful lot of rescues, even over here, where you're so underfunded that you do rely on volunteers who are trying their best, but they don't listen. They don't have the education. They don't understand the nuance. They are doing their best
Yeah.
and they are a godsend. But at the same time, if they don't listen, they're going to cost you a fortune
Dangerous.
in insurance.
Exactly. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
No.
And the thing there as well is, I mean, obviously, yeah, there's lots and lots of people that can't afford to do anything as opposed to donate money or items or do, you know, bake things, sell things, organize things. But what they can do is even a simple like on a picture
Yes.
changes the algorithm, and then you get more and more people see it. I mean, it's silly things. I put a cartoon up on Monday. It's a stupid little cartoon. It's up to about 10,500 likes. It's ridiculous. It's a cartoon, but it's getting people looking at the page. So
Yeah.
it's little things like if you just like something, maybe share something, maybe put a little comment, because that all pushes that algorithm forward, and more, all your friends see it. And then all your friends' see it. And then all your friends'
Tag a friend, because a lot of people just put like, and there's no comments. You can have like 1,000 likes and there's no comments. Your algorithm just goes wonky. Tag a friend or just give a thumbs. Well, if you give a like or a thumbs up or whatever, just put a comment, put a heart, put whatever, tag a friend. Just get the thing in motion.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing.
Now,
sharing the post is brilliant. Yeah.
Well, obviously we've got Kate with us this evening as well, who's been very quiet in the background, but only because me and Denise are talking. You can't get word in
What's new?
Obviously, Kate's our director of Into Rescue, and I know she's been posting lots of updates on these pups and the mum, I think, since the very start of this. So, I mean, that Kate's there to help too, however you need it, whether it's spreading the word. Well, Kate, do you want to jump in and say how you can help?
Yeah.
No. She's sitting there going, no.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've been following this story, and obviously we've been talking a little bit, Deb, and however we can help you and share on Into Rescue. That's why I wanted to see if there was anything else that you needed that we could do to try and provide for you, whether it's any kind of voluntary help but I understand what you're saying about your dogs, but if there's any behavioral work or anything you need that we could possibly rally around and get people to help spend time with some dogs that may be spending too much time in the kennels and aren't getting homes, are we able to find a network of force-free behaviorists that could spend some time, you know, if we can get up a rota or something like that. I don't know, but you let us know how we can help, and I would love to help promote that.
Thank you. Will do. I mean, Kate's already helped. We've got one of the other dogs that come in, a little youngster, was abandoned and neurological damage. She walks about like that. So Kate's already been looking at videos and giving advice and that on that. Poor little Callie, you know, she's absolutely.
How's she doing?
Yeah,
Have they
that was-
counted out vestibular disease?
she's still on medication. The vet wanted, they felt there weren't a lot of improvement in her head, but in other areas there was improvement in her behavior, and as she was acting and everything had gone back to normal. So they wanted to keep her on that a little bit longer, and so I believe she's still on it, because I think it was like quite a lot, because they said if it is a deep-rooted infection it can be weeks or something. So they've got that. And I'm afraid I haven't, with what's going on, I've not asked about her, unfortunately. You know, like
But these are the things that, you know, I'd love to continue trying to help you with. And I can post on the page and ask for other opinions, you know, other physios, other vets, you know, stuff like that. If you're ever stuck with stuff, you know, we just love to use the InterRescue page to help smaller rescues answer any questions that you can't afford to go and, you know, get all these diagnoses, because you probably need an MRI for that. That's 3,000 quid, you know, and it can still be, we don't know, you know. So sharing it around, I put that on my physio group and got lots and lots of interest, and people want to help and they want to throw out their ideas. And so, you know, any way we can help and support on the InterRescue page, that's what I'd love to make this about, you know.
yeah, I do appreciate
Right.
it.
So this is another one that we have to look at. So we might have another live on this one when we get more information. That'd be an amazing case study too. It really would, for people to look at.
And it's also, Debbie, just so you know, at the moment, it's quite a common condition, which is interesting to me because it's sort of coming up quite a lot. And it's hard to know if it's neurological.
Someone else has said they'd seen it quite a bit as well. You know,
yeah. And not breed specific. So yeah, so things like this that we can just keep dialogues going with your rescue and build a community of rescues that we all really talk with each other and share our concerns and share our questions. And then if I can build a network of experts in different fields that are just willing to give an opinion, it might not be a diagnosis, it might not be that we're, you know, vets, but we can at least all share our ideas and see if we can pull together and help when the finances aren't in place to have the luxury treatments that, you know.
Well, I think even with Callie, you asked us to do certain things in that obviously we wouldn't have had a clue about, you know, guiding her one way. How does she move if you do this? How does she do it? We wouldn't have known that, you know, wouldn't have had a clue to even try getting her to do that, taking her that way, see what she does when you put her food there. We wouldn't. But when you watch the video, you can see that there's a, you know, she responds better one way to the other, and so that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Debbie, do you have photos of how many pups do you have left right now? Because I'm really aware of the time. We're coming up to the hour, and I just want to bring people back to why we're here. These little puppies, if you have photos of them, just so that we can really hurt people's feelings, make them upset even more. We'd love to post them.
I'll get some posted up.
It'll be nice just to have. I mean, I know that obviously it's we've lost a few, and it's a horrible thing for dogs to get. It's just it's disgraceful, but it's part of rescue. It's part of life. It's
but just going back a bit, Mark, because it's parvo and a couple of vets don't want to take on too many. There is a reason behind that. It's not vets kind of, obviously vets have kind of an oath they take. They have to preserve life, whatever. But At the same time, parvo is something that, you know, it can damage. It spreads like wildfire. So
It does. It
yeah,
does.
before
It's
anybody
not
says like, oh, why did the vets do that? The vets are doing everything they can.
Yeah.
The
I
rescue is doing
think it was
everything they can.
twofold the reason. One of them sort of said they could only take so many because it was basically 24/7 care for the dogs that with that, you know, if they had 2 of our puppies, they were going to be just there constant. If they had more, that would mean these 2 were getting less care than what they needed. Some of them, if they had other cases,
Is
not
this one of the
parvo,
newer strains of parvo?
sorry.
Denise
Sorry,
says,
is
is
this
it
one
one
of
of
the
the
newer
newer
strains of
strains of
parvo?
parvo?
Well, at 4 o'clock this morning, I was on the phone to the vet for about half an hour because I said, I'm struggling. I was struggling to comprehend it. You know, I said, I'm not, it doesn't seem typical to me. And what she said was that when you read the textbooks of when parvo started, she said that was horrendous compared to what we see now. What these pups and mum are presented go way beyond that textbook. She said it's worse than that.
And
So
the mom went down very quickly
you know,
by the sounds of it.
I don't know how she went that quick. And the vet, whether there was already something going on, I don't know. But the vet basically said there was, you couldn't really comment on her white blood cells. They were just gone, if you like. There was not non-existent that quickly. You know, she'd been out for a walk that morning, or but she'd been up and out and doing everything. So to go from getting in the van to getting there, 40 minutes. You know, it was that quick. And she was on medication. You know, the original.
And this is what people aren't aware of, how lethal parvo can be. Not only a pup, I mean, she was a young adult.
Yeah. And again, they said she couldn't have been vaccinated. She's not been vaccinated. And at the time I was talking to him, I just said, you know, your head's all over the place. I'm going, I don't know. I mean, because when I picked her up, I sort of said, what paperwork have we got? And it's like, no, we haven't got any paperwork, blah, blah, blah. You know, microchip details, they didn't have anything ready. So, but then afterwards, I remembered them telling me about, they took her to the vet to get her vaccinated, but the vet said she was only 6 weeks. So she had been vaccinated. We believe she had been vaccinated, and it's still got her like that.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, and that's where the vet stands no chance, do they? I mean, when they're that ill and they turn, the vet's got no chance. All they can do is their very, very best, and all vets do. All vets will try and try and try and try and try. And I won't have anyone tell me that vets don't try. They really do, and they do try and save money wherever they can, if possible. But it seems to be that this particular case is just a very aggressive case with dogs that are just way too young to be able to cope with it. It's just devastating.
And
I've seen an awful lot of reports recently with parvo, with all the new strains, that even if they are vaccinated against it, it's still hitting them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so we need your bank details, Debbie, that we can put onto the comments, and then we can all start to share this video about the place and hopefully get some funds coming through. And I know Kate's exceedingly busy in the background working on a way that we can perhaps help more and more and more rescues going forward, which is wonderful. She's got some fantastically good ideas that are coming up. Hopefully,
and Scarlett is actually going to PM you, Debbie. Scarlett's going to get in touch with you as well.
Thank you, Scarlett.
Oh, Scarlett, stop it. You're doing it. Pack it in.
Don't make me bring out more tissues.
What's up with you, love? Dear, oh dear. Told you, they're lovely people. Right? So,
I think rescues need more helper. Well, not helpers, but they need more people like Scarlett and her husband who just go, you know what, let's put the people first. Let's be there for the people. And that's kind of what InterRescue is about too. Like, we need to be there for the people. We also have Annie Phoenix with the Phoenix PAC. What, oh my God, my mind's gone blank. It's
The Phoenix
peer-to-peer support
Advocacy
for
Centre.
people who have, thank you. Yes, my mind went blank. It's peer-to-peer support for anybody who is hitting burnout. She has a big talk coming up with Colleen Peller in first Wednesday of February. It's about burnout. It's how to emotionally support yourself, basically. So do check that out, because there's so much going on that we can't deal with it on our own. You know, I can't imagine what Debbie is going through if she didn't have support, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Okay, well, on that note, we'll leave Debbie to get her bank details so we can share stuff around. I suppose the important thing is, whatever you can do, anything, whether it's sharing a post, whether it's liking a post, putting a comment, raising some funds, donating some items that can be sold, whacking a few quid in here and there, anything you can do. And not just for this rescue, for any rescue, let's try and help them as many as we possibly can. You know, there's some wonderful people doing some wonderful things that doesn't get any appreciation whatsoever. They do this because they're just lovely people. Let's try and help as much as we can.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Debbie, for coming on this
No,
evening.
thank you for
It was
having
very
me.
short notice, but this was an emergency.
And in all honesty,
It really was.
Thank you more for chatting to us whilst you're going through this. That takes some gumption.
Yeah.
It's just we've got to get it out there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like what we said, half of me wants to go and sit in a corner and cry, and half of me's thinking like, we've got to get the story out there.
Yeah.
We've got to let people know, and we've got to.
It's good to go sit in the corner and cry.
Yeah, you're
It
allowed to
really
do
is.
that.
Go sit in the corner, cry for 5-10 minutes, and then go, okay, let's shake it off. Get the brain into action mode and just go for it. But you need that time. We all need that time to just sit back and cuddle something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cry.
Yeah.
Do whatever we need to do.
You've got a lot of things there to cuddle. Okay, let's say good night. Let's say good night to Facebook, and hopefully people out there will start to do lots of stuff, and then we'll have another chat with you in a minute, Deb, and then we'll stop recording. But so thank you very much, Debbie. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you,
It's been wonderful speaking to you, and hopefully let's get some more people donating some money for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good night, all.
Thanks, Debbie, for coming on and telling your very difficult story. Bye.